Hello and welcome to the Collapse Experiment, where yes, I now have a "Don't Epstein Me, Bro" T-shirt. It's not available. This was a special thing that I had made. But if you'd like to have one, let me know, and perhaps it can become a thing. So, if you enjoy this podcast, this YouTube channel, go ahead and like and subscribe. And you can also find me over at The Slow Burn. Yes, there's another podcast I am on with a couple of other guys. We talk about all kinds of crazy stuff. We just completed a 2-hour episode on our top 3 favorite conspiracies, which obviously was a bad idea having me on it because I do know a thing or two about conspiracies. So, get to it. Yeah. Bill Gates and Epstein. What could go wrong? Bill Gates blackmailed by Jeffrey Epstein over affair with Russian bridge player. Are there professional bridge players? Is this a thing? Are there like tournaments or something? I let's figure this one out because I have a feeling this woman probably had another profession. Wasn't it just not that long ago that it was a conspiracy theory to think that Jeffrey Epstein was blackmailing people for their sexual deviancy? What wasn't that that doesn't happen. Oh no. Let's look at this here. So remember when Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates said that he only had dinner with Jeffrey Epstein? I don't think he was having that meal on the table. Yeah, so turns out, okay, well, we've known for a while that's a total lie. As two also had a as two also had a Russian bridge player in common, Mila Antonova. Antonova. Yeah, Wall Street Journal, according to the Wall Street Journal, Gates met and Antonova in 2010 at a bridge competition. This is a thing, I guess, leading to an affair. Oh yes, because he's such a sexy man. 3 years later, after Gates' associate Boris Nikolic referred her to Jeffrey Epstein, to help raise $500,000. Is she really that hot? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. And let's see here. For an online bridge business which failed to pan out. Epstein paid for her to attend coding classes. Well, you tired of working on your back? Learn the code. In 2014, Antonova stayed briefly at an apartment in New York City provided by Epstein, but claims not to have met with the guy who paid for her education. Uh-huh. Yeah, somebody's giving you a free ride to school, and all of a sudden you have no interest in meeting this dude? Come on now. Then in 2017, the child lover financier allegedly blackmailed Gates over the affair, demanding in an email that the Microsoft co founder to reimburse him for Antonova's education. Given the de minimis amount involved in both men, Gates interpreted this 2017 email as a threat to expose his 2010 affair. So, poor boner killer Bill was actually an Epstein victim all along. You see that everyone interviewed for the report says that they knew nothing about Epstein's child loving, trafficking of the oldest profession operation and was disgusted with what he did. Are you serious? Uh, it was already pointed out that Gates knew Epstein after he was convicted of this thing. So, yeah. But in March 2013, long before the two had thrown out their BFF bracelets, they were hanging out at the house of Thorbjorn Jagland, then chair of the Nobel Peace Prize Committee, where the pair allegedly discussed the security situation in Afghanistan as part of Bill Gates' work on polio eradication, according to a spokeswoman for the billionaire. We're sure. Yeah, let's see here. What else is contained in the report? Yeah, a bunch of stuff they were talking about. The deal went sideways in messages to Jess Stanley and this other person. Epstein essentially coached the JP Morgan execs on how to pitch the fund to the Gates team. Just tell them you know about the bridge player. It's fine. He'll hand over all kinds of money. In essence, this fund will allow Bill to have access to high quality people like bridge players that apparently are hot. Investment, allocation, governance without upsetting either his marriage oh, or the sensitivities of the current foundation employees. Yeah, the next day, Epstein wrote, Bill is terribly frustrated. He would like to boost some of these things that are working without taking away from those that are not. Yeah, all right. Good job, Bill. So yeah, who is this girl in question? Let's see here. There is a screenshot. Well, she looks about half his age. So yeah, um, obviously, let's see here. Oh, there's also a picture of her with pigtails. I'm sure he's probably into that too, Mr. Gates. But yeah, a bridge tournament. Um, I didn't know it was such a hookup spot. So more Epstein stuff is confirmed. Now, I've got, let's see here, two other topics to talk about. One might get me in trouble here, so I'm going to go to, actually, both of them could. It's YouTube. You can't really talk about anything on here anymore, so let's just go with it. This is Seymour Hersh. Something else is cooking in Ukraine. Last Saturday, the Washington Post published an expose of classified American intelligence documents showing that the Ukrainian president, Vladimir Zelensky, working behind the back of the Biden White House, pushing hard earlier this year for an expanded series of missile attacks inside Russia. That is currently happening now, where they are targeting Russian civilians and pissing a lot of people off. The documents were part of a large cache of classified materials posted online by an Air Force enlisted man now in custody. Still think that's all a bunch of BS. He was already reprimanded weeks, months prior for taking notes on certain things. Like they had no idea this was going on. A senior official of the Biden administration, asked by the Post for comment on the newly revealed intelligence, said that Zelensky has never violated his pledge never to use American weapons to strike inside Russia. In the view of the White House, Zelensky can do no wrong. Oh, well, that's cute. Zelensky's desire to take the war to Russia may not be clear to the president and senior foreign policy aides in the White House, but is to those in the American intelligence community who have found it difficult to get their intelligence and their assessments a hearing in the Oval Office. Yeah, Biden, low. So, anything that goes contrary to what his advisors, I'm sure Biden's not really thinking for himself these days. Anything that contradicts what his advisors are telling him, it's almost like that scene in The Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. Yeah, remember that? There's the old guy, and then there's what, Wormtongue, I believe is his name. It's kind of like that. There's a lot of worm tongues hanging out around Biden. I just don't think Biden's going to turn around. Meanwhile, the slaughter in the city of Bakhmut. Bakhmut was just captured, by the way. It is complete 100% in Russian control as of this moment. So, yeah, poop is hitting the fan, if you will. It is similar in idiocy, if not in the numbers, to the slaughter in Verdun and Somme during World War I. The men in charge of today's war in Moscow, Kiev, and Washington have shown no interest, even in a temporary ceasefire talks that would serve as a prelude to something permanent. The talk now is only about the possibilities of a late spring or summer offensive by either party. They just keep talking about this Ukrainian offensive, and they don't have anybody to fight, anybody at all. Like, there's more video footage of younger and younger people being taught how to operate a firearm. And then that's about it. They're like, hey, here's the trigger. This is how you put this thing in. Pull this back. Shoot at the people who don't speak your language. The group is led by let's see here. Oh, but something else is cooking. As some of the American intelligence community know and have reported in secret at the instigation of government officials at various levels in Poland, Hungary, Lithuania, Estonia, Czechoslovakia, and Latvia. These countries are all allies of Ukraine and declared enemies of Vladimir Putin. This group is led by Poland, whose leadership is no longer fears the Russian army because its performance in Ukraine has left the glow of its success at Stalingrad during the Second World War in tatters. Yeah, Stalingrad was a stalemate for a long freaking time. I wouldn't consider that a success. It has been quietly urging Zelensky to find a way to end the war, even by resigning himself if necessary, and to allow the process of rebuilding his nation to get underway. Zelensky is not budging, according to intercepts and other data known inside the Central Intelligence Agency, but he is beginning to lose the private support of his neighbors. Even Poland wants Zelensky to just quit. That's not a good thing. And I was hearing this earlier from a couple of other sources as well, but this is coming straight from the horse's mouth. And you can also find more information on this article at seymourhersh.substack.com if you want to check out his stuff. But the rest of the article, you can find a link to it at thecollapseexperiment.com. And this, I believe, was done by authored by Seymour Hersh via SheerPost. I'm not familiar with SheerPost. So, yeah. The other and last topic is actually two articles. I believe they are related, therefore, I'm just throwing them together. First one is the World Health Organization warns of an unusual surge in severe myocarditis in babies. Yeah, babies. You know, those things that aren't exactly running around to inflame things such as the heart. So, this is through the Epoch Times. UK authorities are investigating an unusual surge in severe myocarditis that has hit 15 babies in Wales and England and has killed at least one, the World Health Organization has announced. And it goes into some of the, let's see here, the WHO said that although enterovirus infections are common in neonates and young infants, the reported increase in myocarditis with severe outcomes in neonates and infants associated with enterovirus infection is unusual. So, yeah, they're trying to find the source of this, and it's only, I'd say about halfway through the article. Certain medical procedures that were mandated by governments and companies about 2 years ago come into question here. And they basically state that, let's see here, they did not respond to questions about ruling out any links to the effects of that thing that I just mentioned. So, yeah, there's, at least over in the UK, a sudden rise in myocarditis in babies, because that's normal. And let's see here, the last one. FDA advisors back material RSV vaccine as Pfizer says safety concerns can be studied Post approval. I'd like to point out the meme that really covers this well is that any medication that was recalled was already approved by the FDA. Keep that in mind. If there's a recall, if they say, I don't know, that there's something wrong with this, but you already approved it. What did you miss? Well, that thing that they never bothered to tell us. That's what we missed. Advisors in the U.S. Food and Drug Administration voiced support on May 18th for Pfizer's maternal RSV vaccine, even after several expressed concerns over premature births. Seems like they've got another issue. RSV. Both my daughters had RSV at some point. I don't know why you would have to have a vaccine for something like this. Our bodies do have immune systems. And as long as we take care of ourselves, our immune system will take care of us. So yeah, let's just keep pumping out products because we can. Outside experts on the vaccines and related biological products advisory committee unanimously said data from two trials, two. That's it. Run by Pfizer were sufficient to support the vaccine being effective at preventing RSV disease in infants. Again, both my kids had this and they're fine. They also voted 4 to 10 on the affirmative when asked if the data from the trials were sufficient to demonstrate the safety of the vaccine. The notes set up FDA clearance for what would be the first material vaccine for the respiratory syncytial virus or RSV. Pfizer's vaccine, a recombinant protein subunit shot, targets the RSVA and RSVB subgroups in a 120 microgram dose, yada, yada, yada. I still don't understand the purpose of this. The vaccine was 81.8% efficacious through a 90 days after birth against severe lower respiratory tract illness due to RSV. The efficacy dropped to 69% after another 90 days. So, again, these things are just temporary. They're spending all this money on things that uh, didn't smallpox, like the smallpox vaccine, that's just one and done, right? Isn't that the famous Fauci phrase, one and done? You get the smallpox vaccine, you're not going to get smallpox. Yeah, I'm glad that they're producing all this very, very temporary bullshit. FDA staffer said in a briefing document that the trial showed successful vaccine efficacy, and the advisors seconded the view with their unanimous vote. Let's see here. Now, where is the issue that was being stated? Multiple experts expressed concerns about the risk of the vaccine causing premature births, a risk found in a similar product also made by GlaxoSmithKline that prompted the company to halt testing in 2022. In Pfizer's trial, there were more premature deliveries in the vaccinated arm than the placebo arm. Okay, that is hanging. That is hanging over this program. Dr. Paul Offit, one of the FDA's advisors, said during Thursday's meeting. The FDA declined to comment on the issue during the meeting, though staffers wrote in a brief that there was potential uncertainty regarding premature births. Okay, so let me get this straight. They did 2 studies. 2. That was it. And when somebody got the shot, all of a sudden they're having a premature baby being born. And people who got a fake shot did not have a premature baby being born. Thinking there might be an issue here. Yeah, so of course the FDA, who most likely these people are also former employees of Pfizer. Um, of course they're going to approve it. They probably also own stock in Pfizer. Yeah, that should probably not be a thing. If members of Congress are able to do such things, I'm sure the FDA is doing it as well. Well, yeah, of course I have stock portfolio. How else am I going to retire? But do you have stock in the companies that you're authorizing medications for? Maybe. So yeah, this is definitely a thing, and oh man, I'm totally not surprised. These are god awful people, and of course, they're going to try to pass this. Doctors are going to start pushing it. It's going to become the new normal. And RSV, I don't understand what the concern is here. Now you've got two cases here. One is an unusual surge in severe myocarditis. Who knows what that's from, right? Then you've got this whole RSV thing over here. It's almost like they're starting to focus on the children. Who's they? The World Economic Forum, of course. And wasn't it Bill Gates that recently said the next virus is going to focus on children? Like, it's, I don't know, it's almost like he knows that it's being designed in a lab somewhere and what the hell it's going to do. It's just weird. What could the odds be? How would is Bill Gates using like a magic 8 ball that no one else has access to? Who knows? But it's just weird the number of details he's able to point out and just freely share. Like, yeah, we're gonna have another pandemic, and guess what? It's gonna be bad for kids. Well, things are already bad for kids according to what some of these articles are saying right now. So, yeah, that is about it for me today. And remember, if you enjoy this, you can also check out the Slow Burn podcast. We do have a Facebook page. I'm not a fan of Facebook, but they made one. You can also find us on Instagram, any podcast outlets, including Spotify. You can find us on there as well. Yeah, I know there are quite a few podcasts that are called the Slow Burn, but we're the only one that has recent uploads because everything else went to crap. So yeah, we're the new one, and we like to smoke cigars and chat about different things. And this week's episode coming out Friday, like I said, is going to be about conspiracy theories, where I flex my mental nuts and pull out a lot of good information. And I was actually kind of surprised at some of the topics the other guys picked as well. Um, that really impressed me. And this week, this week when we record, it's going to be about aliens. So yeah, you'll want to check it out. We do have several episodes available already, so be sure to go over there, download, stream it. I don't care. It's fun, it's entertaining, and you'll learn a little bit about some fairly decent, good cigars that you can pick up. Even at places like Wild Bill. Isn't that everywhere now? Isn't Wild Bill like the Walmart of tobacco these days? There seems to be one everywhere. Even our small little town has two of them. Two. Like we need more than two, but for some reason we've got two Wild Bills. So anyways, if you're into that kind of thing, go and check it out and keep on typing.